Good afternoon,
I'm ready.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm Daddy Freeze, and I've got Mnena with me. Mnena. I hope I got that pronunciation right.
Yeah, you did.
How do you pronounce it? Mnena.
Mnena. But I will Mnena. You have to
Okay.
hold the M a bit, like humi, like Mnena.
Mnena. Okay, Mnena. All right. Okay. So I saw the story on Instablog, and I commented
Yeah.
in the comment section. I said, you know what? I want to have a conversation with this lady. Let her tell us exactly what happened. How did all this happen? Let me give her an opportunity to tell us her own side of the story. So, first of all, Mnena, start by introducing yourself. Tell us what you do for a living, and then I'll begin my questioning. I know you've gone through a lot, so I'm not going to take too much of your time.
Yeah. So my name is Mnena Akpera. I'm a film and television director and producer. That is what I do for a living. I produce, tell stories. I'm a content creator.
You're a content creator.
Yeah. I grew up in Benin State, in Boko precisely.
Now, what happened? What led to your injuries, if I may put it that way? From what we read on the blogs, you were transferred to a media house, and your boss helped you out with accommodation. How true is that story? Or maybe better off, you give us your own version from the beginning, how you were transferred, where you work, and how you ended up living in your boss's house, and what transpired between you and your boss's wife to the extent that you sustained these injuries.
Okay, thank you very much. The story is going to be very long, but I'm going to try to be very concise about it.
We're all
You know,
ears. Take your time. We're all ears. Tell your story, because it's also going to be therapeutic for you. Tell your story.
Thank you very much. You know, after I graduated from the Moisture Talent Factory in Lagos, I got a call for the series Halita, an Mnet series. So I left Lagos. I went to Abuja to help coordinate the production of the series. After my graduation from some school, I got the opportunity to get a scholarship with the Moisture Talent Factory where I got a diploma in film and television production. So after that, I got a call to be the production coordinator on the series Halisa that just finished on DSTV. I was on the production for the time it lasted until the last month. The last month was the period where we had the COVID-19 lockdown. I was in Abuja in the production house. Then my parents live in Benue State, but not we don't live in the capital. We live where the Totis live. That is in Boko. If you're familiar with Benue State. So my parents said that the COVID thing just started. I'm alone. I'm just there in the production house in Abuja. That I need to come home and stay with my family. I went home. I was my family during the lockdown. We're trying to observe the whole um, being indoor thing. So it was really a good time for me. Up until one day, that was in April, I got a call from Mr. Jeff. Then he got he got a consultant job where he was supposed to set up the Benue television. And in Benue State, I found myself to be one of the people who is an expert in film and television. I've got the degree, I've practicalized, I have the idea, I've done all what it takes to have to be able to run content production and directing in the state. So he called me, and I was my mom that day. He said that the chief press secretary to the governor, on behalf of the governor, wants to see me for an interview to know to see my resume and all that. That day I left my house, which is like 1 hour 30 minutes, say, from my house to where the station was located. It's like an hour 30 minutes. So I left. I told him that I don't have accommodation. I don't have a house in Makodi, where that's where the state television is. He said, okay, that he's going to make reservation for me in a hotel. I left that day. I came. I just took like a code for the interview, and maybe if they asked me to do like a test shoot, I was ready for any trial, whether practical or uh, theoretically. So I was there and I met with him, and they saw my CV. They saw what I've done. I've done documentaries. I've already come for Monster Talent Factory. They checked my CV. They checked what I could do, and they saw that I was qualified. So they asked if I'm able to take on the job and help them to start up the television, because they actually needed young hands that are capable to do the job. And since I'm a Benue person and I'm exposed and I'm learning about film and television production, they feel I'm the best fit for it for now. And they asked if I was able to work with someone elderly that have already been in the business. I said that was fine by me. Then that day I went back to the hotel. I called my parents because I tell them everything, at least basically everything concerning my life and my career. So after that, after the first day, the second day I went back home. So there was supposed to be a test transmission of the television. That's like the first time it was going to like properly broadcast to mobile phones. So they asked that I'll come back to Makodi and help them with the test transmission. During that period, we were doing like the stakeholders meeting where for peacekeeping, I came to Makodi. I did the test transmission. During the test transmission, there were some technical features. So I had an issue on that first day of transmission with a lady, Marvel Ademola, which is the sister-in-law to the wife of my boss. I don't know if I should go into details about what happened that day.
Do you feel if you feel it's necessary? If you feel it's necessary, you might want us to hear about it.
Okay, let me talk about that day. So that particular day, we're supposed to use HMI cables that would connect, because the cameras are not wireless cameras. The cables were supposed to connect the cameras to the vision mixer, to the computers, where we're going to send it to the uplink, where to mobile phones. So those cables that the previous day we discussed during the pre-production meeting that we needed to connect, to do a wireless connection to all the cameras. So as a director, I had a meeting with my camera crew, with everybody, and they said they're going to make available the wireless connections where we can keep the cameras at different points in the stadium, in the auditorium. So on that particular day of the production, I realized that the wireless connection was not made, and the HMI cables they have was not long enough to put the cameras at different positions because the plate was really long. So when I was trying to set up the place, this particular lady said she made a comment to her sister's husband that she's doing that. They're not supposed to put the camera at OP, who's the person I was supposed to speak to. And I spoke to, and the DOP said they would rush and go and get the longer cables in the market. So it was just like 10 minutes to production time and to live broadcast. And I was very tense. At that moment, I just needed the cables available for me to do a proper broadcast, because that was like my test transmission, like my test on capability before the CPS and the governor. So while waiting for this cable, this man's husband and her in-law came, that's the consultant came and met me that this girl, I should work with this girl. And it was just like 10 minutes to production time. So at the spur of the moment, I was tense. The cables were not there, and I needed to make it right. I then said, and I then told him that, sir, I just need to be the only one directing the show right now, because we just have 10 minutes to show. I don't need too much in my head. All I need now is the cable. So the girl heard, they get selected now, who is this particular girl, blah, blah, blah. You know how production can be. when during production, a lot of pitches happened. So we went back and she made a very big deal out of the situation. And then we had a post-production meeting where we discussed about it and we all apologized to each other. Fast forward to some months, we started having we started setting up the TV, like trying to recruit staff, bring people in, people who are capable of doing the job. So he now told me that accommodation for consultants have not been made available. Because if you've worked with the government before, you realize that the government don't do things like private sector. If you submit a budget, it takes like some time before the budget gets released. If you submit anything, it has to pass through the ministry that is in charge of it, then it will now pass through the media person in charge of it before it reaches the governor, then it goes back to the finance person. So because I understand how government work, I was patient. I told him that since accommodations have not, sorry, I'm guessing I'm beginning to have tested. Mommy, please can I have what?
Calm down, Mnena.
Because the guy in question is someone I've known before. He knows he followed my journey because I've been a striving youth in Benue State. I left my state. I went to Lagos. I hustled. I did absence in school in Lagos. I trained myself. I've done business class. So people in my state, they know me. So, okay, this girl is someone who works hard and this is what she does. So during this thing, he told me that he doesn't have money for hotel bills again, right? That do I have any friend that stays in the local government, which is Makodi? I told him that okay, my friend stays she used to school in BSU, but now she has graduated. But she lives in Abuja, but her house is empty. I called my friend. My friend told me I should collect the key from someone, her room key from the gate man. So from that point, from that beginning of March, no, after April, it was month. May. Beginning of May, I moved to my friend's house. Her name is Ruth. I moved to her house. She wasn't staying there. I stayed in her house for 4 months. All this while, I was waiting for accommodation. I was waiting for accommodation to be made available. And this guy kept begging me, Mnena, what he submitted to the government have not been made available. I'm a Benue indigene that we've never had such a thing in our state. We should please make it work. Everything is not all about money. That that I've already started this. I've already brought youth together. I've already brought people I know. I've started putting on programs. I've started writing programs. We literally drafted the program schedule from the scratch. And then I told him after the first month, I told him that I'm going to go back to my friend called me and told me that okay, her house rent has expired. That if it's honestly, I had the money to pay my house rent. But what benefit it is that I come to a place to work and then I use the money I've gotten from another job to invest in this job. I don't know if you understand. Many people might say, okay, you don't have, but I came for a job. My accommodation was supposed to be prepared. If this job was in Abuja or Lagos or that, I won't do this. But all in the name of be part of this new vision in the state. Be part of this thing. Benue State, I've never had such a thing before. Be part of this new thing. Help. Wait until. Honestly, he told me that okay, Mnena, when this money comes, you'll be settled well. I told him that okay. At the point he said, I told him that okay, let us sign the contract from the onset. He told me that the contract he's going to sign. Well, if he signs the contract with me, it doesn't bind because the contract is the state that's going to bind the contract to us as consultants. I don't know if you get it. That
I'm getting you.
Contract, the ministry might not accept it because it's a ministry that drafts its own contract with whoever they are working with. And the ministry in question is the Ministry of Information. And I know how this thing works. If I sign a contract with him and we take it to the ministry, then it doesn't bind. Fast forward to 4 months later, 4 months later, I called my parents that I've been staying in my friend's house, and, I wanted to maybe get. I started looking for a house. If you check I wrote on my Facebook that I'm looking for a house agent in Makurdi. So I spoke to one of my friends. My friends were like, Nena, what thing you do for Benue State? Come back, Lagos, because presently my teams are in Lagos. Come back Lagos. What do they do here? Your mates are doing things that are commissioning them to do projects. Do you understand? What are you doing here? And most times they say, okay, Nena, they do what? They work for government. But they didn't know what I was passing through. At the end of the day, I just wanted to write my name in the signs of time. That when this thing started, this was one of the persons that first developed the people. Why? Because I have political interest in the state. I want to come and become something later. So I felt like, okay, if I can give to the state, then when it's time, it's okay, Nena did this, and I wanted to connect to people to get to be impactful to my state. Because it's one thing to be doing things out there, and another thing to be impactful in your state. Fast forward to the day where I told the guy I still have the chat. I sent the chat to the human rights people that are working on this case, my lawyers and human rights, because I keep a lot of things. I told him that I'm going back home to meet my parents. From there, I would go back to Lagos because everything that we have discussed have not worked out. He now said that he was in Abuja and he went to see his family because his family lives in Abuja. He was in Abuja. I should wait for him. But for the meantime, since my friends and landlord said he wants to keep the house out, and he hasn't gotten the money yet, I should move to his house and keep my things in his house until he comes back and sorts it out. And then in my chat with him, I told him, have you spoken to your family? The house in question is the house, like, okay, you know, this family house where you have uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins, everybody's in the house. So
yes.
he said, actually speak to your parents first, and then speak to your father, who is the owner of the house, basically, and then talk to your wife, because before this time, I and the wife talk. She knows me. She knows that I'm a Benue girl and I'm doing well for myself. If she sees me out there, she says hi to me. You get? So I said, talk to your wife and talk to your father. He now said he's going to talk to them. So the next day he called me, and then I moved to the family house. You will meet my uncles and my cousins. Move there. When I come back, we'll get accommodation for you to move in. This was like a temporary stay. And in my head, everybody in the family is aware I'm coming. Your wife is aware that this consultant in question is working for you. And because money is not made available yet, she has to stay here instead of going back to Lagos. Because I vehemently refused to use my money to get accommodation. If I didn't get accommodation at that point, I was going to go back. Because it's one thing to work for almost free because you're sacrificing, and another thing to be seen as available. Because at that point, I wanted to make things work for the state. So I just wanted a place to lay my head, wake up, go to work, because I go to work by 7 a.m. and I come back home by 9:30, 10. That is my day routine, because I direct programs that are off the live studio. I direct news, and news is morning, afternoon, and night.
Yes.
That's my routine. And then I have, and then I have I go outside to do outdoor productions. Most times I come back, I'm really, really tired. And all this is because I wanted to make things work. So a week after that, after I moved into the family house, the week after I moved into the family house, I was going to work, doing my normal things. Everybody in the family house know me, the old man, the uncles. I used to just sit out with them. I was just like a family member to them. The week after, I got a call from the wife. She was like, Nena, how are you? I said, fine. And I said that, you know that it's not every woman that will allow that I think, I don't know if I still have the call recorded, but I will try to check if my phone
Okay.
has it. You know that it's not every woman that will allow a young girl move into the house. I said yes, ma. She now said, but she feels that, but right now she now told me that right now she doesn't she's not feeling comfortable about it again. And I told her that I'm making arrangement for the accommodations. And when we get it, I'll move. And I told her in the text, I said that, ma, please, I am going to Abuja tomorrow. I'm going to Abuja tomorrow for 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 a production. I was shooting it. I was called for a production. The movie Still Falling will be out in February.
Mm.
I said I was going for this production for a month, but when I come back, I'm going to move into the new house. I spoke to her based off of the relationship we've had before. Like, okay, babe, this is it. I'll move out because she came to me and she said this. I said I'll move out. So when I came back from Abuja, I went to the house where I was supposed to get because someone directed us to some houses. So I am some boys in the station who went to look for the house. We looked for a couple of houses and they told us, okay, that we should come back. So that was that night. That was on Friday. I was in the station at around 9:30, about 9:30, and then the sister-in-law came to me and she said that am I aware that I'm the cause of the problem in the sister's family? I said no, I'm not aware. She now said that, why am I in the house? I said I'm in the house because I'm looking for. I spoke to her sister and I'm looking for a house, but I'm going to leave once I get the accommodation. All this is because I thought because we've worked together for like 6 months. I felt like we had a relationship already, like we are cool, we're family, we're colleagues. The son-in-law said to me, if today is going to be the last day of the consultancy, then today will be her last day. So today will be the last day. To me, I did not understand. So that day I entered the staff force. I went back to the house, and then they gave me and said, okay, that Madame just came from Abuja. I then said, okay, and I went inside the house. I went I went upstairs to the room where I stay with the other girls, and then she came upstairs and she said I should pack my things. I said I should leave her house this night. So she came to the house. I was upstairs. She was downstairs. So I was in the room where I stay with the other girls in the house, like their cousins. So when I was upstairs, she came and told me that was around 10. She came and told me that I should leave the house. And then I told her that that I have no place to go here, that I will leave the house tomorrow morning. Once it's tomorrow morning. She now said that she doesn't want me to sleep in the house with her. That since she's around, I shouldn't sleep in the house with her. And I said, okay. Then and I went and I packed and I took like a shuttle bag. I took my shuttle bag. I went to the room to the other room because I keep my bag in the storeroom and I stay in the other room with his cousin. So I went
Yes.
to the room and I was packing my things into the bag, things that I can just take and stay somewhere for the night. So before I could know, she now came in. She now said that the only reason why she has not beat me is because of her father-in-law. And I smile because I'm someone who is I'm very patient. I'm very I don't rush into into doing things. I can endure a lot. So and I just smashed and I told me that me at my age I'm not married. That when she was as young as me, that she was married. That she now told me that me I'm just going around and squatting in married people's home. And then it got to me, and I told her that the reason why I'm not married is because I'm really working and I really want to make something for myself. That was what I told her. The next thing, she now hit me. I was having migraine that day. She hit me so hard that I staggered back. And I told her that, Ma, please, what have I done to you? The only reason why I'm in your house, you know that I'm in your house because accommodation was not provided for me. That is why I am here. And your husband has told you. And I told you that I'm going to pack my things the next day because that's in Makodi is not like Lagos, where you can by 10 dead zone. Like there's nowhere. Like I don't know if you have been in those states that by 10 is like dark out. That is how it is. So I told her that I'll leave the next day. But if it's this night, I can find a hotel at a place. I can find a place in town like and sleep. She asked, and I thought she had already given me the grace to just go out that day. So as I was packing my things, I realized the door was locked. I tried opening the door. The door was locked. The sister was downstairs. I don't know what. The sister was out downstairs shouting and saying things. So one of the girls that stay in the room with me came to the backyard because she locked the front door of of the house and locked the door that is demarcating the upstairs and downstairs. And then she locked the room I stay in from the outside. Like, Nena, open the door for me. I said that I cannot have access to the back door and I cannot have access to the door. I was locked in it. That was when they called her husband. So the man came out trying to enter the house. He couldn't have access to the house. So everybody was trying to open the door, but these kind of old houses that are very strong, that the doors are like really built properly. The door was not opening. I was upstairs, and then I was so scared, and I was waiting for her to open the door, and then she came and started hitting me, and honestly, I hit her back because at that point I was trying to defend myself. I hit her back, and then she hit me. I went to the floor, and then honestly, I was afraid to even fight with her because she is the wife of my boss. But when she came to fight me, at that point I was so scared. When she did that, she ran. As she hit me to the floor, she ran out to the door and locked it from outside again because the door is being locked from outside. So she locked it from outside, and then I have to call her husband, and then he was like he's trying to enter the house because a lot of people say she has symptoms of being bipolar, but me, I've never experienced her because she normally stays in Abuja. I've never like stayed in a place with her for like a day or two or so. We just greet Madam, good afternoon. That is all. So when she locked me from outside, I was just waiting for when she would open the door. When she opened the door, she now called my name, Mnena. I was just waiting for her. I was just run out of the room. She now called my name, Mnena. I did not turn. I was just waiting for the right position. When she called the second time and I turned, the next thing was water on my head. They peeled my hair from my head to my breast. I was wearing a jean trouser, so and I was wearing a very light top because I just wanted to step out. I was wearing a light top. So she poured the water, and then I started screaming. I was shouting. Everybody in the house was now like scared. This girl, as she locked the door, at that point I was in pain. I couldn't even rush to anywhere. I had to take olive oil. Like I have like some oils, these steamer oils we have. I started poured it because that was the closest thing to me, and I poured it on my face. I started crying. I was shouting, and then I took my phone. I called my mother, which she lives in Boko. I called my mother. I said, "Mommy," and I was crying. I couldn't talk so much. She was like, "What is it? What is it? What is it?" I said, "Mommy, somebody just wife poured me water because they know about the family. Just wife poured me water." And then she was like, "Nena, what is happening? What is happening?" I called the call. I didn't know my phone once again. So meanwhile, I didn't know downstairs I could hear them pushing the door. She just stood in front of the window. I was looking at them. I was insulting everybody that she has been asking all of them if I have anything to do with the husband, and everybody is saying that Nena is not doing anything. Nena is working hard. Nena just comes back home because she asked from the gate man to the old woman that cooks in the house to everybody. Everybody was in support. I don't know whether that was what was. Everybody was crying. At the point, everybody also started crying because they felt this man had already killed me because she has symptoms of they felt at that point something terrible had happened to me. Everybody started crying. So they now brought a ladder. They brought a ladder and put they brought the ladder. You know these old houses that have
Yes.
balconies. Yeah, so they brought the ladder, put on the balcony, and climbed upstairs and climbed up and pushed through the door that connects to the balcony room, and then they realized that I was locked from outside. They opened the door, but by then the damage had already been done. That day, me, I felt I'd already lost my face. I thought I'd lost everything. So they took me downstairs, like some men took me, like the neighbors around the vicinity came, and the husband, they took me down from the balcony, and then they started rubbing salt on my body, started rubbing oil. At that point, the police had, because we have police in that area, the police came, and then I think that was the last thing I remember, because I don't know, I was rushed to the hospital, and then they gave me the last time I remember that they gave me anesthesia for me to sleep. And at that hour, this was around 1. At that hour, doctors were not around. It was nurses. They couldn't do anything to my skin. The only thing they could do was just to give me the drug for me, the injections for me to sleep. The next day in the morning, I didn't know what happened. I heard police took her that night and released her in the morning. This was around 1, and released her in the morning. That was what I heard because I regained consciousness 3 days after that. 3 days after that, because I was always on drugs. Because at that point they were trying to prevent infection. So my parents came in. My father was in the village. He came in from the village. My mom came in from Boko, which that I told you already. It was like an hour 30 minutes. She drove in, and then all I could hear when I was sleeping, or that will I say sleeping, because I know I did not die. All I could hear was my mother crying, someone crying, someone crying, someone crying. The next thing, they peeled my face, they peeled the upper part of my face, they scraped my hair out, they bagged my hair, they cleared my face, at least this side, after they coming back. They peeled it, and then they started treatment. So at that point, the hospital, the traffic was so much at the hospital, because a lot of people said, I don't know how the thing went out, but that was the next day I saw that Interblock took the post. Interblock took it and wrote that the woman, I don't know who, but rumors has that she was the one that sent the post, because she needed to tarnish my image and tarnish everything about me. And I'm wondering why. The only thing I did was to be hardworking, because I take my job seriously. So when you work so hard and you are like excellent, people are talking about you, somebody there is angry that this one is getting so much accolades, this one is working so hard. And honestly, that it frees. I was so afraid to tell people how much they were giving me so more. I was even afraid to tell people that accommodations were not made available to me. When my friends in Lagos call me, and how they go, they had programs for Makodi. I'll say yes, it will go fine. You know how when they talk for industry, we don't go talk things that they see it happen. Every month, I don't, maybe I won't say it because of maybe the agreement was signed, but every month what they gave me was not even enough to say, okay, this one is for my transport, this one is for my feeding, this one is for my accommodation. If I say it here, you will cry for me, because that is not industry standard. Most of them will say that spally yourself, but you're not going to understand. But I've taken legal lessons, I've done all these things. So if the people that trained me hear this thing, they'll be disappointed. That is where the pain is. My pain was about my image, because Instablog itself was that I was a sidechick of someone. How will I, a young girl, go and be staying in my sugar daddy's family house and be staying in the room with 2 people? Which was girl to do that kind of thing for Nigeria? I'm paid. It's an insult to me, because
it's okay, Mnena. It's okay. It's okay, Mnena.
It's one thing to say they suffer for industry. It's another thing for them to start this show.
It's okay.
I'm not here to make people believe that, believe my side of the story. No. I'm not here for people to come to my own side of the reasoning, but I'm here to see the voice to a lot of people who are suffering from this violence. On a normal day, I would have settled this thing amicably and gone. Then what about people who I've worked with, people who respect me? I've worked so hard. I've got a scholarship, but nobody talk about that one. Nobody talking about the things I've done, all the good things I've done. Nobody talk about things. But when this thing came out, everybody started talking about. I am pain. I'm still young. My relationship is affected. My career is affected.
Tell me about your relationship. What's happening in your relationship?
He believes me. You understand? He believes me, but you know when you're dating someone in Nigeria, you're dating the family.
Yeah.
You're dating the family. And at that point, I take my business seriously. I work hard, and I believe is that where you're working that you will invest back in. And at the point, I felt like okay, I could stay at my friend's house, but where I messed up was the fact that when I stayed at my friend's house for 4 months and accommodation was not yet provided, I would have carried my passion and I would have gone back. I would have saved myself the shame. I would have carried this passion of trying to make things work and gone back. And I just want to say to anybody, there is no friendship in business. Someone will be doing business with you. The person will be begging you and kneeling down. When something goes wrong, you are on your own. You are on your own. I've never done any business that I don't sign contract on the first day. I've never done any business I don't start with this was the first. And I don't know why I'm going to pay this bigger price. But I believe this will happen to me. So because I am strong enough. I'm strong enough to withstand the naysayers, the negative people who think marriage is the ultimate, who that think that because what she did the next day was that she saw the story of Sidechick and how to buy sympathy of Nigeria. Because if anybody here that Sidechick, if anybody here about the married woman, if anybody here about a house, okay, hell will break loose. To a point, my phone was collected from me for like a week because the doctors were so afraid that if my BP start going so high, I might lose my life. They were afraid of infection because it affected my breast, she poured the water to scatter my face. My face, you know that I think God loves me so much because my face, they peeled my face. They peeled my face. You see this hand? This hand was just the hand I used to block my eye. If not, today I've been hearing that
wow.
Somebody is blind. That is free. I know I've made mistakes. The mistake I made was to compromise, was to put friendship, was to put passion for my sake.
It's okay, Mnena.
I was taken to three hospitals so that they can save my life. It was when the governor, my father went to the village where the governor went to, because my father is local. He does this politics. He's one of the elders in the village. My father went there and then spoke to the governor, and then he said, "Oh, he felt for me." Then they moved me to an amenity ward where I will get proper treatment, where my wounds will not get infected. And I told myself that even if the society downcast me and say, "Oh, this girl, she have done this, she will not marry," you know that we have like 195 countries in the world. So if the society of Nigeria would try to downcast a young girl who's working hard, that is why this thing is paining me, that I work hard, I put my mind to work hard, and then I am not being labeled as a side chick that have been poured water on. I just even want to apologize to. I want to even apologize to my bosses at MultiChoice and MultiChoice and factories. They might be disappointed, but the truth is, This mistake was because I compromised and I put the love of my state first.
It's okay. It's okay, Mnena. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Nana. It's okay. It's okay. I don't want you to I don't want you to say anymore because we need you to heal. And there are a few people out there in the world who actually would believe your side of the story. Here's what I have to say. Women need to know their rights. Even if, let me just ask you this question. Did you have anything to do with your boss, Jeff?
I never had any relationship with the man. And this woman, she knows this. All these things was because
okay,
of
let
my
me say
sister.
something to you, Mnena.
Yeah.
Let me say something to you, Mnena. Even if you did have something to do with Jeff, the wife does not have a right to pour hot water on you. That is battery. If she was having issues with her husband, she should file for a divorce. I think it is unfair for women to be treated like this by other women. If she has any grouse, she should take you to court, or should have taken her husband to court. That is why I don't even want to, I would have heard her side of the story if she went to Instablog to say, one, my husband's side chick. Then I'll have said, okay, what's your side, Nena? What's how? But the moment she poured hot water on you and there's no, the only question I have for her is, did you pour hot water on this woman? If her answer is yes, I have no line of questioning for her. I would only suggest to the law to take its course so women can be protected. If you are feeling insecure and your husband cannot provide you with mental security in your relationship, or you cannot handle the dynamics of your relationship, don't put somebody else's child through this much pain. Please leave the relationship. This is my verdict. If somebody is cheating with your husband, the answer is not pouring hot water or hot oil or whatever it is. That is the wrong thing to do. And more people need to be convicted for this kind of behavior. This is inhuman.
Yes.
And I will not support it. If you had anything to do with the gentleman, I will ask you to ask God for forgiveness. The woman that was brought in biblical times, that was caught in the very act, what did Christ say to her? He said, go home and sin no more. I cannot do more than Christ, especially when the constitution of my country and the criminal code does not even allow me to do anything more. Adultery in Nigeria is not a crime. If you feel your wife is committing adultery, you have the right to file for a divorce. Beyond that, anything you do is taking the law into your own hands. And people need to know this. Women need to know their rights. You are dating somebody's husband. I don't support it. I don't support being a side chick. But I need women to know their rights. No woman has the right to come and flog you, to come and beat you, or to come and pour hot water on you because they feel you are dating their husband. This cannot happen in the civilized world. And we must upgrade Nigeria to the standards of the civilized world. So, Nena, I'm really sorry about this. I'm glad you've said your own side of the story. And this goes out to all women out there. Please respect people's marriages, but also know your rights. Nobody has the right to pour hot water on you. Adultery might be a sin. It might be something people frown at, but it is not a crime. You can't arrest somebody for adultery. However, pouring hot water is a crime. It's somewhere between assault, battery, and intent to do grievous bodily harm. That is a crime. and justice must be served if we want our daughters, wives, sisters, and mothers to be protected in this nation. I'm sorry, Mnena. As the story goes, I'll keep in touch with you so you can keep sharing your progress report with us. And please, also, you've learned, don't do anything without a proper contract. If they say you are entitled to accommodation, you must see the accommodation. Employers, you two are an embarrassment. How do you take somebody and use her services and don't provide your own sides of the contract, even if it was a verbal contract? So thank you so much, Mnena. Do take care of yourself, and God bless you, okay? Please smile for us before you go. Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah. And you'll see more of me. I'm not giving up.
All right. All right. Don't give up. That's the spirit. Don't give up. Okay?